Hey, welcome back to Recently Played, and today I'll be giving you my honest thoughts, feelings, and opinions on Querencia by CHUNG HA. Let's get into it. So, Querencia is the first full-length studio album from CHUNG HA, and I gotta say I was pretty excited for this one. As soon as they released that track list showing 21 tracks, I thought, you know what, I am on board with this. I am down with a 21-track full-length CHUNG HA album. And along with the name of the album, they kind of hinted that they were going for more of a Latin American concept with this, and I thought that was a really cool idea, actually. So I don't need to explain to anybody that K-pop is wildly popular in almost every part of the world, but I've noticed that it is especially quite popular in Latin America. And there's probably many reasons for this, but I think it boils down to a shared cultural appreciation for things that are bold and dramatic. And I think you'll notice a lot of similarities if you look at music that's popular in Latin America versus K-pop, or even TV dramas and soap operas between both regions. That and the fact that dancing is a huge part of both cultures, and if you like dancing, then K-pop is probably your thing. And yeah, I felt like if done right, this album could turn out very well. However, there were some foreseeable problems. Okay, number one, it's the number of tracks. This could either be an epic pop journey, or it could just be a very bloated and exhaustive listen. And whenever I see that an album is gonna be 1 hour plus, I get a little worried about this. And number two, I know I said I was excited about the Latin American concept, but I think that it also has potential to be cringy, unauthentic, or just a little bit of a lame imitation. But now that it has dropped, what do I think of Querencia by CHUNG HA? Right off the bat, everything about this album is very impressive. The music videos were total visual spectacles with tight choreography, and I'm happy to hear the music match that level of quality. I'm happy to say that from a production standpoint, Querencia is rock solid. There's a lot of stuff we hear that could be on a Charli XCX album, or an Ariana Grande album, or a Dua Lipa album, or really anything along those lines. And I'm also happy to say that Querencia holds up very well from front to back. I was worried that I would get bored, but that just really wasn't an issue at all. This is a very easy album to listen to, and it goes by very nicely. We get a really good range of different kinds of songs, and it really does feel like you're always moving forward throughout the album. And I can't help but be impressed that she managed to pull off an hour-long, full-length, solid front-to-back LP. I think that the biggest thing that this album has going for it are CHUNG HA's vocals. She sounds confident and playful, and she's really able to carry this album by herself. And I think that she does a great job of creating these very interesting and memorable moments out of songs that are otherwise a little generic. But yeah, arguably the most important thing when you're listening to a solo pop artist's album is how engaging or fun they are to listen to, and CHUNG HA definitely has that going for her. And I know that in the past I've said that ballads aren't really my thing. They're not the most original or unique sounding song, but I gotta say I really enjoyed the slower, more sentimental tracks on this album. And I did really like how the album opens up towards the end and you get a few mellow tracks in a row, one after another. And as for the Latin American music concept, I thought it was very well executed. The whole South Korean Latino culture clash works out pretty well. You know, nobody needs to call the cultural appropriation police. It's always tasteful, and there's never a moment that's strange or cringy. I thought that throughout the album, she incorporated aspects of reggaeton and cumbia into her music quite well. And I like how they didn't do this with every song. In some tracks it's more obvious than others. It would certainly be very unfair to say that this is CHUNG HA's reggaeton album or something like that. I think the most obvious example of this is the track Demente featuring the Puerto Rican rapper Guaynaa. And this is one of my favorite tracks on the album. I think that CHUNG HA's Spanish sounds totally awesome. She really kills it, and I love that switch between Korean and Spanish. I think it's so cool. I like it just as much as any J Balvin song, and I think that that's the greatest compliment that I can give to any Korean reggaeton track. Alright, so here we are. What's not to like about Querencia? Well, as I said, this album is rock solid and it doesn't do anything wrong. There's no bad track on this album. Every track is fine. There's nothing that I want to skip through. But unfortunately, a lot of these songs are just a little generic in my opinion. And I think that for an artist that's trying to gain a larger global following, hearing things that sound familiar isn't necessarily bad, but I wouldn't have minded hearing her take some bigger risks with these songs. I really would have liked to get a sense of what CHUNG HA's sound is, who she is as an artist. Everything on here just sounds a little bit too cookie cutter. And even though it's not my favorite track on the album, I think that Bicycle is probably the most unique sounding. You know, it's weird, it's different, it's very dark and hard-hitting, it's got a bit of this salsa feel. It feels very CHUNG HA. I think that one, more than any other track on the album, has the most personality or that sense of unique identity. So yeah, in the future, I think an album that is a little bit more cohesive sounding and more along those lines would be really cool. But yeah, I can't complain. I think this is a solid first full-length album. I hope that it puts CHUNG HA on the map. She is very much so worth your attention. I give it an 8 out of 10. And yeah, that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts, feelings, and opinions, so leave a comment. And yeah, catch you next time.